Yes! Thank you for downloading and listening to this 4ZZZ podcast of The Sleepover with Ben and Jodie. Although it's no Jodie this week, Jodie was taking the week off. As many people will be aware, Jodie is of course part of the Queensland synchronised swimming team. They've ramped up their practice schedules, so they're now going well into the night on weekends, obviously with the London Olympics coming up. Obviously, Jodie's a crucial part of that team, and they couldn't practice without her, so fair enough. Had to let her go this weekend, but we've got a suitable replacement, Charlie Rico. She has come all the way from the United States of America, and she actually talks with that accent you'll hear her on this podcast, and that's her real voice. That's not a sort of terrible fake American accent, which I just did a moment ago. That's her real voice. So that's great. Well, we're going to crack on with the show. A lot of strange stuff in this show. Obviously, that's to be expected, I guess, with the sleepover. But we hope you enjoy, and I will be back at the end of the podcast to say goodbye. Okay, enjoy it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for downloading. It's fantastic. Really, really quite good. I listen to it in my pajamas because I'm normally, asleep.
Charlie, I saw Bon Iver this evening.
I know. Lucky you.
It was pretty good.
Yes.
The actual crowd themselves, I would say mostly young. I'd say they were probably average age 21, 22 maybe. Mm-hmm. But altogether a very nice and polite crowd. There's this trend now. I don't do it personally because I find it very annoying. Charlie, I don't know if you do this.
Yes.
People it's not good enough to actually be in the room and watch a gig anymore. You've got to
get your iPhone
up. You've got to record every waking second of that. What's the point of that?
I don't know. Maybe taking one photo is okay.
Okay.
One photo.
We'll
fair
give you
enough.
that.
Yep, one.
Yeah.
Not 25.
There was someone at the gig who was very vocal about that. There was quite a sedate part of the show, and he was just about to lead into his sort of a solo acoustic moment. And just as he launched into the song, all the phones go up. One person at the back of the crowd goes, "Put your phone down, you... See you next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday."
That's appropriate in that situation.
Charlie, do you ever feel the need to do that at gigs? What's going on with
to
the
yell
world?
Expletives? Yes.
Yes, that. But just putting your phone up at gigs and recording stuff,
well,
I can understand, taking a photo, but,
First of all, my phone was probably made in the early 90s.
Yes.
The camera doesn't actually work.
You still carry around one of those sort of battery packs, don't you, that you have to strap to your back?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but even if I was hip and owned an iPhone, which I do not, I don't really think I'd do that because I find it really annoying because you also, you can't help but look through that person's viewfinder.
Yeah, you want to watch the gig, but then for some reason your eyes are just sort of allergic.
Yeah.
And then you end up looking through their phone.
Yes.
Something needs to be done about this, I think.
I think maybe a little bit of, taking a leaf from Ryan Gosling's book in Drive when he just kicks in that guy's head. Is that too violent?
Maybe. That's an extreme reaction, obviously.
But I'm American, so, very violent.
Violence comes second nature.
It's natural. I can't help it.
Ben and Jodie, the sleepover.
This is new. We've got a new traffic reporter who's going to just sort of dip in and out of the show. We've got him there in the 4ZZZ's helicopter. He's sort of circling over Brisbane at the moment. It's Ricky King. We're going to throw over to Ricky now.
Okay, thanks, Ben. It's really freaking loud in here. This is Ricky King, King of the Road, with the latest 4ZZZ traffic update. There's a freaking mess on the M1 heading southbound on Junction 5 from what seems to be an overturned truck. which has shed its load of contaminated McFlurries. Thanks to Killer Dilla Smack Freak for that one on the message board. While there's a huge tailback heading north into the Clem 7 from what seems to be a driver watching his onboard DVD player. From our vantage point in the Triple Z copter, I think he's watching Avatar. He's just got to the rainforest scene, so he should be losing interest in that movie just before reaching Ludwich Road. Thanks for all your texts and messages. Lame Brain in Chermside wants to know how the trains are doing. The Shorncliffe line is suffering from bad gas, but other than that, all seem to be running smoothly. More in an hour.
Oh, sorry, I farted. Charlie, little story here that caught my eye from today's Courier Mail.
Ah, yes.
Harley Alvey is 8 years old. Now, he's facing detention every day at Capalaba State School due to his hairstyle. He's gone for that rat tail look, which is popular, isn't it? I've seen a few people bust that look.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And
were
among the
going for
hip
that.
hoppers.
Harley's father, John Alvey, said the hairstyle had sentimental meaning and was an extension of the boy's personality.
Well, it's like in the Bible with Samson and his hair. You know, it's comparable, I have to say.
But he's been forced to get rid of it. The school have got a policy against extreme hairstyles. They class that as extreme hairstyle.
Now, is this is a state school, though, isn't it?
Capalaba State School, yes.
Yep, so it's
that
not
is right.
it's not a private school.
He's in year 3. There were hundreds of comments on this on the Courier Mail website. A lot of people getting a bit frumpy about it.
Getting a bit narky.
Getting a little bit narky. Dazzler Seif of Melbourne, that's his
He's
username.
going to have something interesting
He had something to say. He had something to say
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
You know,
Dazzler.
he had a point to make. He said, I've had a rat's tail since I was 5 years old.
Yep.
I'm now 35, and I wouldn't cut it off for anyone now.
Yep.
Even if Pamela Anderson said she would marry me if I cut it off, I would say, see you later, Pammy. I got teased for years. I'm just assuming this is what his voice sounds like. He's like thumping the keyboard when he was doing this. I got teased for years by the other boys, but I stood tough and knocked them down. I say, give the kid a break.
Yep.
As long as he tucks it down into his collar, like I do at my bank job.
Awesome.
It should be sweet, and he spelled sweet with 3 E's.
Do you think Dazzler gets a lot of play on a weekend night?
With the old rat's tail?
But can you imagine, like, taking some boy home and, you know, doing the old undress, and then there's just this, like, 3-foot-long rat's tail?
You'd be like, what the hell is this?
You are listening to the Sleepover.
Thank you, Ben. This is Ricky King, King of the Road again, with the latest 4 Triple Z traffic update. Lots of messages are coming in about this roadblock, which is now stretching from the Botanical Gardens right up to Romer Street, as people are desperately trying to catch a glimpse of Barry Sledgehammer. He is in the city to perform his one-man rendition of the Passion of the Christ. Apparently it's the costume changes which is causing all the traffic, but Fat Batman has messaged us to say that it's been a pretty good show so far. Nothing much to report on the trains other than one of the drivers on the Bean Lee line has just woken up and forgotten how to use his hands. TransLink are sending a replacement driver and the service should resume at Fairfield. Thanks for all your messages. More in an hour.
Let's talk about our horoscopes.
Okay.
We work together during the day, don't we? We should probably make that clear.
Yes. We're
and
professional breakdancers.
we will break dance just about anywhere. Kids' parties.
Anywhere.
Yeah, we'll do it
In the
bar
train.
mitzvahs, train stations. We're
Yeah.
pretty big on that.
Yeah. On a stripper's pole. Just
Pretty much anywhere,
Yep.
yeah. We'll do anything for money.
we're basically
Yes.
glorified prostitutes, really.
Yes, it just but breakdancing prostitutes. And not only that, but we're quite into astrology.
We live our lives by astrology. And another really amazing and interesting fact about both of us is we're both Virgos, born within 8 days of one another. 8 days and a few years, but we don't need to mention that.
Could be twins.
Basically, probably, most likely, separated at birth.
Yes.
brother from another mother, mister from another sister.
And it means that we're going to have basically the exact same day,
Yes,
isn't it, I guess?
yes.
Yeah.
And when our lucky color is the same, it's handy because we also share a sock drawer.
Yes, and we regularly delve into that sock drawer depending on what the lucky colour is.
And also, breakdancers, you get, I'm not going to lie, there's a few bunions popping up.
I mean, that's the danger of breakdancing that a lot of people don't talk about.
They don't
that.
take
Obviously,
it into account.
They see the show and all the backflips and the
baggy
all that
pants,
stuff, the baggy pants and the
hat
loud
at a
music.
jaunty ankle.
But no one thinks about blood blisters. We were discussing this star signs and the actual attributes that they possess. There are certain characteristics of a personality that a certain star sign is supposed to associate with. Do you find that any of those are true with the old Virgos? We're very fastidious people and very particular about things, apparently.
Yes, but we also can't make up our minds about anything.
Yeah.
It's very wishy-washy.
Like, I've just been staring at this computer screen now for 20 minutes wondering what song to play next.
But, Virgos are typically, they can be organized but also disorganized.
Yeah.
They can be anal but also pretty laid back. Like I said, Virgos can't make up their mind. I think our lucky color today was, I think it was gold, actually.
Yes. Luckily, I've brought my gold medallion with me.
Well, I'm wearing my gold lame underpants.
Yes.
Because at the end of many a breakdance routine, I like to just rip off those Adidas snappy pants.
Yes.
And just bust out the gold lames.
Yeah.
It brings in a lot of money at the end.
102.1 megahertz of free radio.
We caught up with Bob Catter. We didn't talk about anything political when we spoke.
No?
So we tried to steer away from the party lines there. But I managed to spend a couple of minutes just talking to him in person. He came to the studio earlier in the week, and this is what he had to say for himself.
He is the leader of the Australian Party. His name is Bob Catter, and he joins us here in the studio. Bob, being the leader of the Australian Party, you are actually throwing a party on election day in North Queensland. You've got the booze sorted, you've got your loyal electorates there, you've got a good band playing by all accounts. So is there anything else that you've got planned?
No, the fourth issue is women. We haven't got any women out there.
Well, now, Bob, do you think that could be because of the slogan that you're using? I mean, just for those who are listening to this who haven't seen the slogan that's written on your posters, could you repeat it for the listeners?
If you don't happen to look like Nicole Kidman, come to the Isa, you can have a lot of fun. And that says a lot of nice things about the Isa and our outback towns.
Right, well, you mentioned there you were having trouble getting women to come along to this party that you're throwing. I know Peter Andre, whenever he wanted women over to his place, he'd often hide his address within the lyrics of his songs. Did you know about that, Bob?
He found a very clever way of putting that to get his message across to the whole of Australia, which guaranteed national media coverage, which indicated to people that if you were a girl, it was a place to go because there were a hell of a lot of boys there and not many girls there. A Kubra, one of our national icons, has named a hat after him.
Yeah, I know that you and Peter Andre go way back, Bob. Listen, you shouldn't have too many problems, though, I'm sure, getting girls over to Mount Isa, because underneath the poster, the slogan on the poster, there's a giant picture of you there wearing nothing but a cowboy hat.
I'm certain there'll be an awful lot of girls going to Mount Isa.
Yeah, glad to hear it. Not like the good old days up in Mount Isa, though. Hey, Bob, you back in the day used to do this joke with the ladies involving a glass of beer and a rubber chicken. Can't believe that ever worked.
All I can say is I'm into one bar in Mount Isa this week, and there were 3 women of the 7 in the group, and they thought it was screamingly funny. Now, I mean, I'll challenge you to come up there and walk into a bar in Mount Isa, and we'll talk to some of the women there.
Not again, though, Bob. I've learnt my lesson there. I mean, I remember it differently. I used to always try and be polite, and courteous, and make a comment about their hair or their eyes. That always seemed to work.
The likes of people like yourself that make those comments, you took her out and put her in a steel cage like an animal for 2 years.
I don't ever remember doing that, Bob. Listen, okay, we better change the subject. I know you've been very critical of the Sleepover on 4ZZZ recently. What is it exactly that you don't like about the show?
You people are out there looking for the sexiest Olympian.
Right.
I mean, we are very scared of you people, and we should be scared of you.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Bob Catter there, leader of the Australian party.
Sleepover.
I just really want to point out and let people know what a truly awful dancer you are.
We were doing the wedding dance.
There's a lot of clapping and snapping.
I think the key is in the knees. Like, I mean, if I... it's normally my style of dancing, keep the feet pretty rigid and just bend at the knees, and on every couple of beats just clap your hands.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for...
It worked for me.
Crap. Now, I've seen Mrs. Johnson dance.
Yes.
Now she can
move.
cut a rug.
That girl got rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with you, but it's probably because you're a white English male.
I think all of these things do add up. We were just going through the dance moves there during the Daft Punk track, and you were suggesting there the move of if you got an open jacket, just occasionally just sort of flap the back of it, like that, sort of pushing the air out, you know.
It's quite popular among the dad set. Yep.
Yeah, the dad sets that, and the sort of clicking the fingers. That's a good one. Sometimes I mime instruments. I don't know if you ever do this.
Oh, no.
If it's an important part of the song, maybe there's a crescendo, maybe a bit of a drum build, I'll sort of do a little, I'll mime a drum roll.
Yeah,
with my hands. You ever do that, something like that?
No, I think that's because I can dance, and
there it is. That's the difference. You know, it's all about you know, feeling the moment there. We were feeling the moment there in the studio during those tracks.
You were, yeah.
I was grinding away.
Yeah.
I'm actually standing up for this link as well. I've not actually done that before.
Please don't say the word grinding again. It's disconcerting.
The sound of 4ZZZ.
Wow. A lot of fun was had there on that show. Good show, big show. Big show. I'd like to thank Charlie for helping out with the show. That's great. Thanks for all the messages and texts that you send us. We do like to hear from you guys. Send us an email. You can just sort of send us anything. Send us a little picture of you on your holidays, or just any topics for discussion, whatever you want to talk about. The Sleepover at 4ZZZFM.org.au. So yeah, thanks for downloading, taking the time to listen to The Sleepover with Ben and Jodie on Brisbane's best community radio station, 4ZZZ FM. Thank you very much for your support. You've made a very happy man feel very old indeed. Thanks, guys. We'll do the same next week. Bye.
Z.